Okay, so next, excuse me, like I said, I have like my laptop shining in my face and and a piece of paper, so I'm sorry, it's like a lot of stuff, but to kind of give you an idea. This is from the state of Washington, and it's Washington Psychiatric Advanced Directive / Appointment of Mental Health Care Agent form. It's 16 pages long, but some of that's instructions in the very beginning. And the form is called Mental Health Advanced Directive. And this is just to give you an example of what's in one of these things. Part 1, I think I'm going to read that to you just so you get an idea of the wording. Let's see. This is an important legal document. It creates an advance directive for mental health treatment. Before signing this document, you should know these important facts. This document is called an advance directive and allows you to make decisions in advance about your mental health treatment, including medications, short-term admission to inpatient treatment, and electroconvulsive therapy. You do not have to fill out or sign this form. If you do not sign this form, it will not take effect. If you choose to complete and sign this document, you may still decide to leave some items blank. You have the right to appoint a person as your agent to make treatment decisions for you. The instructions you include with this advance directive and the authority you give your agent to act will only become effective under the conditions you select in this document. You may choose to limit this directive and your agent's authority to times when you are incapacitated or to times when you are exhibiting symptoms or behavior that you specify. You may also make this directive effective immediately. No matter when you choose to make this directive effective, your treatment providers must still seek your informed consent at all times that you have capacity to give informed consent. You have the right to revoke this document in writing at any time you have the capacity. Now, so remember, you can't be psychotic and say, I don't want to do that anymore. You may not revoke this directive when you have been found to be incapacitated unless you have specifically stated in this directive that you want it to be revocable when you are incapacitated. So yes, you can revoke it when you are psychotic if you specify ahead of time. I hope that made sense. This directive will stay in effect until you revoke it unless you specify an expiration date. If you specify an expiration date and you are incapacitated at the time it expires, it will remain in effect until you have capacity to make treatment decisions again. You cannot use your advance directive to consent to civil commitment. Okay, that's kind of, I just wanted you to get some wording about what it is. And then, so these are the things that you can specify to take place or alter and manipulate and decide on ahead of time. When it kicks in, when the document kicks in, immediately, only when I have these symptoms or a specific date. What duration, only when I have these symptoms or forever. You can't, like it said, you can decide when you can revoke the directive. You can put down which physicians you prefer, medications you can include or exclude, criteria for hospitalization, or alternatives. When you're talking inpatient hospitalization, you can say you consent to how many days, up to 14. What criteria as far as symptoms, behaviors, and circumstances. And your agent and your physician say, if your agent and your physician say it's appropriate, if that's a criteria for you to be hospitalized, or that you do not consent to be hospitalized. Which hospital you prefer, and any instructions, and things that go on about the hospital that you prefer. Certain, you can write which interventions you wish to be tried before you're hospitalized. You can decide on things like in the hospital seclusion, restraints, emergency meds, and then there's a section for ECT. Whether or not who can visit, or if you have visitors at all, or you can refuse any mental health treatment. And then there's the section for a durable power of attorney, and that is where you designate an agent, someone to make decisions for you when you are incapacitated. Just not in reality in such a way that you can make decisions that would be helpful to your health and well-being. You designate an agent and alternate. It limits their authority. You can decide to revoke, when to revoke, or you can put down your preferred court-appointed guardian. Also, you would list your medical health care power of attorney, living will. That information would go there. Who to notify about your personal affairs. Your signature to witnesses. List who has a copy of this directive. And then at the bottom is a section for you to revoke this directive. So for any of you that there's the potential for you to be incapacitated, unable to make decisions for yourself, just somebody with depression who can get suicidal, who cannot look at life in reality when you're depressed, bipolar disorder, manic, to such a way that you can be a danger to yourself and your well-being and others, or just any mental health that would put you in a situation that you could not make decisions for yourself and you are going to have to rely on others. This in a psychiatric advance directive is a good idea, I think. But not all of them have it, and you have to rely on the power of attorney for medical decisions, which would carry over to psychiatric. But you don't get all this listing, all this stuff for that. You just get to make sure you communicate with that person. Kind of stinks. I hope I wasn't too confusing, though. It wasn't too confusing to me because I do have a nursing background, and I worked in oncology, so that was a big thing. And I hope if you have questions or I wasn't clear on something, let me know so I can do something like clarify it in a video or something, or put it in my video to clarify it. I don't know. And that's it. Let me see. I have like a few seconds. Can you believe this? This is pathetic. I made a collage of my dog. Superstar.